Hello, 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 friends. This is Tiffany Huckelman. This is take two of our Facebook Live this morning. Always something fun. I never quite know what to expect with Facebook Live. My camera went blurry on the last one, but it's deleted so you don't get to see it. Hopefully, we stick with a nice, clear picture today. So, good morning. Let's start this again. Take two. Good morning. My name is Tiffany Huckelman and I am the founder of Lone Orange, where we help solopreneurs grow their businesses, scale their businesses beyond themselves with fewer headaches and more profit. I am coming to you today and I'm super excited because I have a big announcement for you today. Yay! But we're going to dig into some meat first. So, many of you know, some of you don't know that when I started my business, I was a virtual assistant. I started in business. I was seeing solopreneurs like myself, coaches and consultants who were supplying great services to my company, my business at that, excuse me, the company that I worked for, my employer at that time. But they were really struggling with the back office things, and I was really good at that. So I started my business as a virtual assistant to be able to help those types of people, but do it on my terms. But when I got into business, one of my terms was that I would not have any help, that I didn't want a team. I didn't want to manage people because to me, that meant a hassle. That meant headaches. That meant having to manage people, and I had not had good experiences with that. I thought I would have to be checking and redoing work because people weren't doing it right. I just thought it was just not worth it. Well, there came a time, as does every solopreneur's life, there comes a time when you have to make a decision to either hire help or to not. So this moment came when I was one of the services I offered to my clients is that I would take their stacks of business cards and input them into a spreadsheet or into their CRM or whatever they needed so that they didn't have to worry about it and so that they could stay up with those contacts. So it was a great service. I usually didn't get very big stacks, but there was a time when I got a really big stack. And I was lamenting to my business coach at the time, and she was the very first coach I had hired. And I was saying, oh, woe is me. Now I've got all this work to do. It's not going to go very fast. I don't know that I'll be able to charge for the actual time it takes me. This is going to be horrible. And she said, well, why don't you get some help? And I said, oh, no, no, no. I'm in business. I don't want help. I want to do it all because I'm invincible. I can do it all. I was determined to be the doer and not rely on anyone else. She said, then you're going to spend your time doing that where you could leverage somebody else's time and use your time for something different. That I could take the time that I would have spent, literally the hours, probably at least 10 hours, to do that stack of business cards. I could have taken 10 hours and gotten paid whatever my hourly rate was at that time. And the client would have balked at paying that much money just for data entry from business cards. And we would have had some problems. I wouldn't have been able to charge as much and blah. Would not have been a fun situation. Or I could get some help. And in this case, she introduced me to a business who would literally take those stacks of business cards, scan them through a system, they would check it, and they would deliver an Excel file with all of the data there. Much faster, much cheaper than I could have manually done it. I thought, well, that sounds interesting. Let's try it. Okay, fine. I was ready to hire that because I could pay a lot less, I could charge a little bit more, and I would still get a good profit off of that without spending 10 hours, right? But then I was in a conundrum where I was not in a place where I could get it to that company very easily. And I was like, oh, now I can't do it again. And my business coach looked at me and said, why not courier it? And I literally remember that blowing my mind. To me, the idea of spending money on having somebody else deliver something that I could do it, except right now, the timing was not such that I could do it, that it was impossible. So I couriered it. And I remember the feeling of elation and surprise and relief when I paid to have it couriered, when I paid to have the business cards entered. And when I got all that back, I was able to charge my client. The client was thrilled. I didn't have to sit for 10 hours typing in business cards, and I still made a profit. It was an amazing feeling, and I truly had never understood what having that help could do for me. Now, here's the thing. So I've been through, or I've hired different people throughout the years to help me with different tasks. Some have worked out great. Some have not worked out at all. And I have learned a ton around this. So what I want to really talk about today is what you need before you go hire a VA. If you're thinking that VA is gosh, it'd be nice to have some help with your email inbox management or your calendar management or data entry or your CRM management or marketing tech setup, like there's a gazillion things that virtual assistants can help you with. So if you're thinking that that's one of those things that you want to do to grow your business, great, awesome. That will help scale your business beyond what you can even recognize right now. But if you do it without being prepared, you will be disappointed. So I want to talk about a few things that you need to do today. Some 4 things specifically. Let's see, 5 things. Let's say 5 things that you need to do to be prepared to hire your virtual assistant or your first hire. Maybe it's not a virtual assistant. Maybe it's a bookkeeper or an accountant. Maybe it is marketing help. But making that first hire, you need these 5 things to make sure you're not disappointed in making that hire. Okay? So the first thing is your vision. You need to get clear on what your vision is for your business. Ideally, I'd love to see a long-term vision, but even a short-term vision. What do you want it to look like in the next 6 months, in the next year? What's that short-term vision for your business that how do you want to see it grow in that time? And how do you envision your team? What kind of team do you realistically think you're going to need in that 6 to 12 months? So creating that vision and then from there start deciding who you really need. So what that does is it helps you identify kind of what that real vision is so that you don't plug in a marketing consultant when really what you need is a virtual assistant. So understanding your own vision is the first thing. Getting super clear on that vision will propel the rest of this whole conversation. The second thing that you need to do to be ready to hire a virtual assistant is to identify your culture. Now, your culture is your identity. It is your essence. It is what makes your company you. And if you are a solopreneur, you are just being it. But once you start bringing in team members, no matter how many or how fast or how big you grow, you've got to define what that identity is for your business. What that culture, that identity forms your culture. Now, we hear about culture a lot, but it's usually in big corporations where they're talking about their corporate culture. And that just needs to translate to our little solopreneur businesses, right? Like that actually does translate. And all it is it's the essence. It's what you stand for. It's your company personality. It's your values. It's how you want your clients to experience you. So you've got to have that defined so that you can bring people in who fit that culture and who can help you grow that culture. If you bring in people who you like and think they have the good skills, but they don't actually fit with your culture, and because you don't realize it, and you bring them in, it can actually disintegrate the culture. It can hurt the culture. It can cause all kinds of problems that you can't even anticipate now because you're bringing in the wrong fit. So the second step after your vision is to get clear on that culture, on that identity, your essence, so that you're bringing in the right people with the right fit into your company. That allows you to attract the right team members. Heck, it allows you to attract the right clients, honestly. you getting clear on that culture and figuring out how to message that and communicate that, make sure that you're attracting the right clients as well as the right team members. So vision and then culture. The third thing is roles and expectations. Now, this is interesting. Again, because we're solopreneurs and we're used to working as a single person in our business, we are not thinking about an organizational chart. But ultimately, that's what we need to be thinking about. You have an organizational chart. You just happen to be filling all the roles right now. And that's okay. But by understanding your organizational chart, you start seeing where you can actually take yourself out and plug somebody else in. And that's what this whole conversation is about. That's what hiring that first team and growing your team is about. It's about taking you out of all of those places where you don't need to be and plugging somebody else who is the right, perfect fit into those places. So getting clear on what those roles are that your business needs, and then understanding your expectations. One of the biggest things that can destroy a relationship between a virtual assistant and a business owner is a lack of trust and a lack of expectations. So by being clear on that culture, you're bringing the right people, the right fit, the people who you can trust to get the job done. But you've also got to be able to express your expectations for them very clearly. And you've got to give them the authority to do their job. Like, they are professionals. Yes, they're working for you, but they're professionals, and we have to give them the authority to do that job. There's nothing more undermining than to hire somebody in and then to be nitpicking or to be micromanaging, so to the point where they're not even happy doing the work they're doing anymore. They're business owners too. A virtual assistant is a business owner too. So this is a very mutual relationship that needs to happen here. All right. So step one was vision, then culture, roles and expectations, systems. Now, you hear me talk about systems all the time, and I love my systems for sure, but here's why systems are important in this point, is because you do things the way you do things. And you've developed a level of expectation for your own quality, your own standards of quality. You've created a reputation so people know what to expect of you. And when you bring other team members, you don't want that to change. Like, that experience, that culture, that personality shouldn't change just because you're adding new people. It should only get better. So having those systems in place by thinking through some key systems, I'm not saying all of them. Sometimes you hire a virtual assistant to help you with the systems and developing your standard operating procedures, which is great. But you've got to know the things that you do that you want done that way. You have to know how to systematize that, how to be clear on what needs to happen in those situations, in that system, so that you can train somebody else on it. I think a perfect example is scheduling appointments. That is one of those things that can take up all kinds of time because there's emails back and forth trying to figure out days and times and where. Are you meeting on Zoom? Are you meeting on phone? And there can be a lot of emails back and forth. Every once in a while, there's that magical experience where you get the appointment scheduled right away, but oftentimes there's a few emails back and forth. So there are a lot of different things to manage this. And one of them is hiring a virtual assistant, having somebody else be able to manage that. But you've got to be clear on where are you willing to meet? When are you willing to meet? What kind of process do you want them to follow to schedule this appointment so that they have the same kind of voice that you have? There's a lot that goes into this process that you don't even realize. So thinking through that whole process of how you want it to be so that you can train somebody else on and come in, that will eliminate a lot of training time and a lot of frustration because they won't be doing it wrong. They won't be doing it not your way. They will be meeting your expectations. You might have to tweak a little bit along the way. That's normal. But if they come in and you have those systems in place, you are going to be so much happier with the results because you'll know what to expect, you'll communicate it, and they'll be able to deliver it. And that is an amazing feeling. That's what helps you truly scale your business. All right, so we talked about the the 5 things you need to have before you make that first hire. It was vision, it's culture, roles and expectations, systems, and then you develop the hiring plan. Now, I'm saying you need to have this first because it would be very easy to just put on Facebook and say, hey guys, I'm looking for a VA. Who do you know? And get all kinds of referrals. And then becomes the overwhelm. Oh my gosh, now I have 10 people, 10 referrals. Do I want to talk to all of them? What do I say to them? What do I say I need from them? So that can be completely overwhelming and could shut you down. I know it would me. Like I would just not know what to not know what to do next, so I would just completely shut down. And that's no good either. So thinking through your hiring plan ahead of time. What do you want to tell a prospect of what you're looking for? What do you want to find out about that prospect? What kind of conversations do you want to have with that prospect to know if they're going to be the right fit for your culture? To know if they're going to be able to meet your expectations and fill the roles that you have in mind. What are you going to do how are you going to vet that out? Like it's hard in a hiring situation to really get to know somebody, but there are definitely techniques and methods that you can do to get the best sense of someone in even just an interview. So having that hiring plan figured out ahead of time helps to make sure that that process goes much smoother and that you're finding, again, the right people, the people who are going to actually be able to help you grow your business and not suck your time, not give you more headaches, not give you more hassles. So having these 5 things in place before you hire your virtual assistant is going to be so much more helpful for you. So think about those things. And if you're interested in this, here's the big announcement. If you're interested in this, I am running a free challenge. It's called Solo to Team. We start next Monday, which is Monday, September 28th of 2020. We start then to where we're going to go through these 5 steps and we're going to get you ready to be able to start growing that team, to demystify the frustration and the fear and the not knowing what the next step is. We're going to eliminate all of that mystery so that you are in a much better place to decide when and where and how you are going to hire and grow your team and scale your business. So again, it's a free 5-day challenge. We'll be running September 28th to October 2nd. I'll be going live in a Facebook group at 1:30 p.m. Central Time. And to sign up, there's a registration link in the description of this video. So just click on that, get registered, just put in your email, and that gets you on the email list to make sure that you are getting all of the information about the Facebook page, about all the workbooks. This is not going to be a fluffy challenge. Like you're not going to walk away going, well, that was a big waste of my time. I do not want to waste your time. I respect your time. I respect my time. And I want to make sure that this challenge is super valuable for you, that every day you walk away with something that you can apply to your business, that can help your business be better that day. So that is my goal for 5 days in a row, starting next week, starting next Monday. So make sure that you register today. It's called the Solo to Team Challenge. It's for solopreneurs who are ready to start building their virtual dream team. Like this could be the thing that you need to get you to that next level, to get you over the overwhelm, to get you over the stuckness. We're going to get you over that so that you are ready to start hiring that team. Are you ready? Let's do this together. Make sure you're registered today and absolutely share it with as many people as you can. Anybody that you think would benefit from this information and from this challenge, everybody's welcome. It's free. So there's no risk to you. There's no risk to them. But the more the merrier. Like the more people in this group that we can have, the more fun we're going to have. So make sure you register and then share it with as many people as you can. I am so excited and looking forward to starting the challenge on Monday. And I'm super thrilled to have been here with you today. I hope this has been helpful. If you're watching live, make sure you're typing in the comments that you're here live. If you are watching on replay, type in replay too. In the comments, just type hashtag replay so that I know you were here. I know that you watched so that I can come back and say hi. If you've got questions or comments around this topic, put those in the comments as well. I'd love to hear from you. So I hope this has been helpful, friends. Have a great Thursday, and I will see you next week. Bye.